In the realm of power and influence, true strength often manifests in unexpected ways. Nietzsche, the provocative philosopher, once observed that those who argue most vehemently often reveal their deepest insecurities. The truly powerful, he suggested, have no need to convince others of their worth. Their actions and presence speak volumes without uttering a word. This concept of silent strength isn't just philosophical musing. It's a principle that has guided some of history's most influential figures. From ancient Greek thinkers to modern tech visionaries, the mastery of silence has been a common thread. But why does this counterintuitive approach hold such sway? Consider the Socratic method, a cornerstone of Western philosophy. Socrates didn't engage in heated debates or long-winded monologues. Instead, he asked questions, simple, probing inquiries that led his interlocutors to unravel their own assumptions. In the pauses between questions, in the silence that followed, truth often revealed itself. This wasn't passive silence, but an active, engaged quietude that spoke louder than any argument. The Stoics, those ancient masters of self-control, took this concept even further. They cultivated apatheia, not apathy as we understand it today, but a state of emotional independence. Imagine standing unmoved in the face of both insult and praise, your inner calm unshakable. This wasn't about suppressing emotions, but about choosing how to respond to them. In a world that often seems to reward the loudest voice, the Stoics found power in restraint. Let's fast forward to feudal Japan and the legendary samurai Miyamoto Musashi. In the heat of battle, when adrenaline surges and instincts scream for action, Musashi found strength in stillness. His silence wasn't empty. It was filled with deadly focus and intent. Every movement, every decision arose from a place of centered calm. In our modern context, this teaches us that true power often lies not in constant activity, but in purposeful stillness. Now picture a more recent icon, Steve Jobs on stage, captivating an audience of thousands. What made his presentation so compelling? It wasn't just what he said, but the spaces between his words. Jobs wielded silence like a master orator, using pauses to build tension, to emphasize points, to command attention. In a culture of constant noise, he understood the magnetic pull of well-timed silence. But why does silence work so effectively? It's because it breaks our expected social patterns. We're conditioned to expect immediate responses, constant engagement. When someone chooses not to react, it creates a psychological imbalance. The person who maintains composure in the face of provocation suddenly holds all the cards. They've refused to play by the usual rules, and in doing so, they've changed the game entirely. This isn't just about interpersonal dynamics, it's about mastering ourselves. In a world that seems to demand constant output, constant opinions, constant noise, choosing silence is a radical act of self-control. It's about understanding that not every thought needs to be vocalized, not every emotion needs to be expressed. It's about cultivating an inner strength that doesn't need external validation. Think about the last time you were in a heated argument. In the heat of the moment, did you say things you later regretted? Did you feel your emotions hijacking your reason? Now imagine if you had paused, taken a breath, and chosen silence instead. Not as a form of passive aggression, but as a conscious choice to step back and reassess. This is the power that Nietzsche recognized, the strength of someone who doesn't need to prove themselves at every turn. But let's be clear, this isn't about becoming a silent, stoic statue. It's about choosing your moments, about understanding when to speak and when to listen. It's about recognizing that sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is no statement at all. In a meeting, in a relationship, in any interaction, the person who can sit comfortably in silence often holds the real power. Consider how this applies to leadership. The best leaders aren't necessarily the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who listen, who observe, who create space for others to contribute. When they do speak, their words carry weight because they've chosen them carefully. They understand that leadership isn't about dominating every conversation, but about creating an environment where the best ideas can emerge, often from unexpected sources. This philosophy extends beyond individual interactions to our relationship with the world at large. In an age of social media and constant connectivity, there's immense pressure to always have an opinion, to always be on. But what if we took a step back? What if we chose to observe more and react less? This doesn't mean disengaging from important issues, but rather approaching them with more thoughtfulness and less knee-jerk reactivity. The practice of strategic silence also ties into the concept of emotional intelligence. It's about recognizing our own emotional states and those of others, and choosing how to respond rather than simply reacting. This kind of emotional mastery is a cornerstone of true influence and leadership. As we navigate an increasingly complex and noisy world, perhaps it's time to rediscover the power of silence, not as a retreat from engagement, but as a tool for more meaningful connection and influence. It's about creating space in our conversations, in our minds, in our lives, for deeper understanding and more purposeful action. So the next time you feel the urge to argue, to prove your point, to fill the silence, pause, take a breath. Consider what might happen if you choose not to speak. You might find that in that moment of restraint, you discover a strength you never knew you had. Remember, the truly powerful don't need to shout their strength from the rooftops. They embody it in their actions, in their presence, and yes, in their silence. In a world that often mistakes volume for value, be the one who knows the worth of a well-placed pause, a thoughtful question, a moment of quiet reflection. Speak less, listen more, observe keenly, master your emotions, choose your words and your silences with equal care, because in the end, the strongest voice might just be the one that knows when not to speak at all.